So hello there, and welcome to another album review of the Shield Unit Couch. I'm your host, Hector, and as you can see today, I'm outside. I'm in a balcony in a different couch. And today I'm going to talk about an album that I did a poll in YouTube, and I put three albums. I put Riverside, Cloudy Skies, but the album that won by a landslide is Katatonia. And Katatonia is a band from Europe that's been around for a while, and they just released their 12th album. So I'm going to talk about that album that just came out this Friday, and I'm going to show the album cover here. Here is the album cover for the new Katatonia album called Sky Void of Stars. And this is an amazing album cover. You know, it looks like an oil painting. You see the crows. And when you look at this album cover, you get an idea of what the music for this album is gonna sound like. You know, if you listen to Katatonia, you know by now that they can be kind of depressive at times. You know, they're very gloomy. They have a lot of like goth influence to them. But when they started, they had more death metal elements to it. But as the years have progressed and they lost members and just kept like two of the original members, I think the sound has more softened and more commercial than what it used to be. But yet it still remains with that Katatonia sound. So what did I think of this 12th album? Do I think it's a great album or do I think it's more of the same? So this album, sound-wise, sounds great. You know, it has some great sounds on it that you can really enjoy. It really feels very atmospheric, very melancholic at times. So you can feel the melancholy in the music. I thought that the singles that they released, like Birds, was interesting. It was a little bit different, but I thought it really represented the band well. I really think the vocals on this album are top notch. You know, great vocal delivery. I do miss that it's all a lot of like clean singing and very goth type of like, you know, like think Depeche Mode meets The Cure type of sound in the vocal delivery. So I miss some harsher vocals once in a while sprinkled into Katatonia sound. But nonetheless, it sounds great. You know, there's 10 songs. It's like a 52-minute affair of an album. And the album, to me, in terms of pacing, it's a little bit slow at times for me. I think the album is very linear in sound. There's not a whole lot of variation and difference in the sound. And that to me can get a little bit repetitive, a little bit. Not to say that the songs are bad, but some variations sometimes can do good for me. But, you know, great songs. I think the opening track, Austerity, is really, you know, you feel the sadness and you feel the way the music sucks you in. And it's only a 3-minute 41-second album opener, but it really sets the tone for the album. And it goes into the other song, Colossal Shade, the second song. But something that's interesting about this album is that sometimes you don't know when a song ends and another begins. And sometimes I'm like, oh, the other song ended. This is another song. And sometimes to me, that can be a problem. But then you have songs like Impermanence, which is a longer song and, you know, has more progressive elements to it. And especially the album Closer to Me, which is No Beacon to Illuminate Our Fall. That one was, I think it was a great album closer. And I like it when they sprinkle in some progressive rock elements. This album, I wouldn't categorize it as a metal album. It's more of a goth prog rock type of album in the sound. You know, there's it's softer, more atmospheric. You really, I think the most important thing in this album is the vocal delivery. I think the vocals on this album drive the album forward. They give them the feeling when you know there's songs that they evoke emotion, and that is what this album does perfectly. Musically, it can be a little stale at times, a little samey sounding. And sometimes that took me out a little bit of the album. It's not an album that grabs you right away. This is an album that you really have to take your time with and sit down and listen to it on repeat listens to have more of an impact, because it's not an album that grabs you right away. And there's some albums that that from beginning you're hooked, but there's some albums that you need to let them simmer, and once they simmer and they kick in, you find little nuances that make the music worthwhile for you. So that is what this album is for me. It's a grower of an album. uh, do I think the album is better than some of their previous work? I don't think so. There's a song that Drap Moon that I don't know, and like Drap Moon, for example, and uh, I think Opaline. I kind of found them a little bit boring at times. But besides that, the other tracks I thought they were pretty good. I would have liked more variations in the sound and maybe some different things with the vocals. But nonetheless, this is a very solid release from a band that has been around for a lot of years now, and they're masters of their craft. So, again, Sky Void of Stars is another solid album by the band. So, what did you think of this album by Katatonia? Did you like it? What did you think about the singles? What are your favorite tracks? I would really want to know. And if you like the videos that I'm putting out, do not forget to subscribe and do not forget to give me a like. And coming up next, we have more interviews brewing for you guys. So more interviews and more album reviews and collaborations coming up next. So until next time, this is Hector, the Shield on a Couch, and I'll see you right here on the couch. Thank you and good night.